That's just how I feel. The last one not to get the stove. No way, love one up, bucket heads, hoes. No way, get the streets and we break the code. No way, get the brakes when they on control. No way, be the last one not to get the stove. No way, love one up, bucket heads, hoes. No way, get the streets and we break the code. No way, get the brakes.
I was down, but now I'm up. Yeah, this all God, this ain't no love. Yeah, I used to be stuck in that mud. Yeah, yeah, I was down, but now I'm up. I was down, but now I'm down. Now I'm up like a seesaw. When I'm on a beat, like an old man's lawn, better keep off. From the ground to the treetops, got clouds on my feet like Jack and the Beast. I jumped off quick, went straight in a free fall. Cowboy hat and a mic singing yeehaw.
Okay, Jonathan, let's go.
Yo, what's up, you guys? Great. So we got 130 plus people on here. Let's keep getting this line growing and growing. Just for time, I'll go ahead and first introduce myself for those of you guys who don't know me. But I will tell you this: get your friends on the line, because today I will be sharing some amazing things that you guys probably aren't doing yet. Literally things that you aren't doing yet with the resources that you have that literally can change your entire business, especially for the holiday season. So make sure you hit up your people, tell them to get on. I'm super excited to share with you guys today. Yeah, I see it growing. Nice. I love it. All right, great. Because I got a little less than an hour, let me get started. First off, you guys, thank you guys for your attendance on the call, all you guys who are tuning in. I see the number continuously grow. Thank you guys in advance for your listening, for your attention. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing this evening, but for whatever reason, you took time out to get information about your business and what's possible. That lets me know that you guys are serious and that you guys have strong intentions to succeed. That being said, my name is Jonathan Weber. I've been in this company now. I've been working in this challenge for over the last maybe year or so. I've been actually in the Herbalife business for a decade, actually about 13 years. And today I'm going to be discussing with you guys a lot of things that I'm doing that's new to me in the market, right? Maybe a few of you guys who may be doing this, and if you are and you haven't shared it with me, I'm a little upset that you didn't share this stuff with me, but there's some new things that I'm doing in the market that I'm excited to share with you. Shout out to the leadership. You know, Octavio hit me up and was like, yo, you want to do a call? And it just so happened to be like, of course, if you asked me to say yes, but it just so happened to be a great time because for the last 90 days, I've been working on some things to really just grow my profits, right? Jerome says profits are better than wages, right? So my idea was like, yo, I need to grow my profits. So anytime there's a time when you're looking to like grow your profits or just grow your business in general, a couple of things happen, right? You kind of go back to the things that you know that always works, right? For many of us, we know the products work, right? So shout out to each and every one of you guys who are in the Coaches Challenge. You know the products work, and you know that taking time to get new results is going to do your business, especially if you're blogging your journey and you're making it visible. You know, you're putting this up in your stories and people are able to see it and posting about it. You know, you're basically giving people an inside look into how you do it, and you inspire people. So shout out to each and every one of you guys who are doing that. But also too, I wanted to look at, you know, the products, and for me personally, but not just for me personally, but also the clients. So I started looking at different packages and rearranging certain things so I can make a new offer. Okay, so let me talk about what I mean by a new offer. As I started thinking about how to grow the business, I was looking at like, you know what? There's a couple things in my personal business that was down. I started saying, you know what? I noticed that a lot of the team are checked out, not fully present. So I'm like, so what is it that I have to do, right? I can't wait for the company to make a change. I can't wait for anybody else to make a change. I'm like, what do I have to personally do to go ahead and recoup some of this money or make a little bit more money? So what I decided to do is I started to really look at like, what are the tools that we have available to us, and how I personally wasn't fully utilizing them. So in my digging, one of the first things I came up on was I went back into looking at the Brian Mark videos. You guys, if you haven't watched, and I know everybody in here, first off, let me ask you, drop some sort of emojis or something in the chats if you've watched, like completed the Brian Mark videos, right? Shout out to everybody who's completed the Brian Mark videos. If you have completed them, I encourage you to go back and take another look. Actually, if you're a subscriber to the We Do Transformations page, like I literally went through there, the YouTube, and I went through there and I looked there. And one of the things that came up for me is I was like, you know what? There's less views on the trainings in the YouTube page than there is people who get on these calls, which let me know that a lot of people have not watched the Brian Mark videos. And shout out to, you know, the leaders of the We Do Transformations movement, because I know they invested a lot of money, right? And a lot of time, first picking someone, but also really making sure that these trainings were custom, and also picking someone who was like a killer in the game when it comes to like online coaching. Because guys, if you really think about it, that's what we are, right? We're really online coaching. Yeah, we transformation coach. Yeah, we sell Herbalife products. But at the end of the day, if we're online to any degree, we are actually online coaches. So it was interesting to me as I went back into really deep diving into the Brian Mark videos, a couple of things came up for me. And the first thing that came up for me was just marketing in general, right? You got to think, we've partnered with a network marketing company, and we use that company to deliver our products, right? So if you look at the words like network and marketing, right? You can look at the network that we create, right? You can look at, but you also have to look at how well we market. We Do Transformations, the platform, the app, the brand, everything that's inside of it. We do the WDT Connect and more, the shape ups, you name it, has done a great job in itself of just marketing. It's literally like a marketing monster, right? So it would kind of not make sense. It would definitely not make sense if we didn't use it. But as I watched through the Brian Mark videos, a couple of things came up for me that I don't think that a lot of us really took on. At least I'll speak for myself. I hadn't really took on. And once I took these things on, it's been a game changer over the last 90 days because of it. One of the things that I took on, guys, is that he talks about in the marketing aspect, really looking at finding your niche, right? Like looking at like who's your niche, like who's your actual person that you want to talk to. And I sat back and I thought about it, you know, because I watched them slow this time. I think the first time I watched them, I just kind of got through them. I was like looking to see, is it good? You know, oh yeah, it's dope. And I was just kind of celebrating the fact that we had it, and I was consuming the information. But this time I just really watched it slow because, again, you know, and sometimes I think it's good when, you know, you might have some checks slow and things of that nature, because it makes you stop, focus, and pay attention to some things, right? So I'm like stop, focus, and paying attention. And one of the things that that's landing for me different this time around is that when he's talking about marketing and he's talking about finding your niche, he's really breaking down you creating your avatar, right? Your avatar is who you want to talk to in the market, right? So for example, if you look at major companies, right, all major companies really, when they started or at the start, they have a target avatar, right? Let's take Lululemon, for example, right? Lululemon came out a couple years back, about a decade or so, and they really scaled down exactly who they wanted to target, right? It was like housewives, college educated, in their like mid to like late 30s, yoga mat carrying, like they had a whole breakdown of who this person was. Right now, I know a lot of us who are like, we sell products to everybody. Yeah. Okay, that's great. But what Brian is explaining in the video is that when you actually dial down and find your niche, right? That's what's going to set you aside. And because marketing is marketing and there's so much noise everywhere, it's not until you really find who it is that you want to talk to that you really blow up an area. And then after you blow up that area, other people start to show up, right? Think about it, right? Lululemon. Everything started, they focused on one particular person. Later on, what happened? They started having men's underwear. I know because I started buying all the men's underwear out of there. They started having like, next thing you know, they started having a little bit of men's apparel. Well, who's the men's apparel? The men's apparel is usually her husband, right? But they went down into a niche really, really hard and then eventually expands. That's how you grow, right? And he breaks it down. So I sat back and I was like, okay, great. How do I go and re-look at who exactly I want to talk to? And the way he explained it, he's like, if you have trouble finding who your avatar is or the person that you truly want to speak to, he's like, the easiest way to do it is to look at your past self, right? So for example, if you are a mom and you were trying to lose your baby weight, because you've gone on that journey and got new results, that might be who your avatar is, right? Like I like to call her Sheila. Like, who's your Sheila, right? Like, think about it. You want to describe who this person is. You want to know everything about her. You want to know, is she married? Does she have how many kids does she have? What's her level of education? What are her hobbies? What are her pain points? What might be slowing her down from getting in the gym and getting in the shape? And does she know about supplements already? Has she never used supplements? Like literally when he breaks it down, you have to really scrape and find out exactly who this person is that you want to speak to. But the beautiful thing is that once you find out who that person is, the next step is that you then set your Instagram appropriate or your social media channels appropriate. So when she or he comes to your page, they know that they found their person, right? So, but then here's another great thing though, is that also too is once you nailed it down, when you do talk and when you do post, you're only posting for Sheila. You're not posting for Jake and John and whoever else, right? You're posting for Sheila. You start to hit Sheila. Now think about it. 50 Sheilas will change your entire business. If you get 50 Sheilas, your business will change. So it's not about getting everybody. It's about really focusing on exactly who that person is. I'll give you another example, right? I'll give you another example. I thought about it. Think about this, right? Think about Fit Couple. Now, in Herbalife, I don't think there's anyone who did a better job of taking an idea, forming a brand around the niche, right? And really driving it home. Right now, obviously, there's other people who like maybe added Fit Couple to their thing, but when we think of Fit Couple, we only think of George and Disney. Like, that's it. Like that. Like, there's nobody else that we really think of, right? But they did it so well that so many other people wanted to follow suit. And then what did they do? They started attracting couples and got them fit. Right? It's the perfect thing for you to think of as it relates to like looking for the person and finding the identity that you want to attract and going really hard in that lane. Right? And they did a great job of that. So if you watch that journey and you paid attention to that journey, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But again, the easiest way to find your avatar if you're having trouble is to look at who you were. And you don't have to be limited to that, right? I know guys who are on social media who focus on getting girls' booties, right? That's what they focus on. So it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be something that you came from, but it has to be the person that you never get tired of talking to, right? It has to be the person that, this has to be like your ideal client, the person that when you talk to them, you get excited to take their call. When you get on the Zoom with them and you're doing your one-on-ones with them, like you're excited to talk to them because there's a relationship there. There's something that you guys have in common, right? So the idea is that when you're nailing down your particular avatar, you have to, and you guys, I really think you should definitely take notes. If you're not taking notes, please take notes, because what you're going to find later on, I'm going to tell you what's happened once I started to do this, and you'll probably be impressed, right? And then you'll probably wish, like, dang, I probably should have took the notes. So step one, I want you guys to make sure you go through those Brian Mark videos. But I also want you to pay attention and really nail down your niche and your avatar, okay? Step two, once you found your avatar, right? Let's say you're Sheila. The next thing is you want to do is you want to then create your deliverables, right? So here's the thing. We Do Transformations is an amazing tool. There's meal plans in there, there's workouts, there's just like food guides, there's a challenge, there's money to give away, there's jackpots, there's community, there's all these amazing things. But guys, we can't be lazy, right? We can't just rely on just the We Do Transformations hub in order to like grow our business. You really want to think about, now I have this, a tool, right? A tool, right, inside of my tool belt. But then you have to say, okay, great. What's the thing that distinguishes me from everybody else who's a coach in the challenge? And this is where the rest of your deliverables come in. So you have this deliverable that we all have, just like we all got the products, right? But then what else do you have that is gonna that A, or Sheila wants, that you are willing to offer, that you know that she find valuable, right? So for example, some of you guys on here might do a walk club. I'm not doing a walk club, so instantly, instantly I'm not getting your client. If your client wants a walk club and they see you and they see me, they're not going to choose me, they're going to choose you, right? Some of you guys run a fit camp. Some of you guys have a nutrition club. Some of you guys might offer getting your macros done. There's a host of things that you guys can offer in addition to the challenge that your particular avatar, right, will feel like is valuable. And I encourage you to really take time to find out what those things are that you want to deliver and add that to the tool belt. Again, I'm going somewhere, so I really hope you pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm going somewhere with this because once you find out what you want to deliver, you'll realize that the other coaches around you just aren't delivering that. Why? Because that's not what they want to give to their particular person, or they don't feel like that necessarily relates to their particular person, right? Again, 50 Sheilas will change your life. You got to think, you don't have to have everybody. The idea is you want to get your select few, nail in on that, and what you're going to notice is that once you nail in on that, other people will start to show up. Okay, great. So you're gonna nail that down. You're gonna make sure that, look, I got my deliverables. Like for mine is like the busy professional, period. So now everything that I talk to people with in the DMs, which is like my next area I'm gonna tell you about, is I'm talking to them about being busy, because I know the people that I want busy professionals. Like, that's my goal, right? So I'm talking to them about that inside of my DM. If I'm saying something in my story, it's relating to that. If I post a picture or a video, somehow I have to be able to solve the problem of my avatar. You got it? Now, your channel makes sense. It's not all over the place, right? If I turn to something I want to see comedy and I'm seeing drama, it doesn't make sense, right? You want to turn to the channel and always see what you want, you know, what I tuned in for. So then you go into like your story views. right? You have your marketing down, you got your avatar, you got your deliverables. Now inside of your stories, you want to take time to actually go through and talk to the Sheila about the deliverables that you offer in relationship to her hot buttons, right? The things, her challenges. You want to talk about solutions to whatever you know that your person, your particular avatar is going through and how you can help, right? So now you got attention. Another good way to get attention too, let's just say, you're looking at your story, you're like, well, John, like I probably don't have a lot of story views. Well, let me give you some little tips on like increasing your story views. The way Instagram works right now, one of the things that it does with the story views is that if you, let's say you post Monday through Saturday, and on Sunday, you don't post anything for 24 hours, literally, you don't post nothing at all. Okay? Well, if you do that, then what happens is that next day you post, you're going to get more story views than you normally get. All right? So if you take one day off, what you're going to notice, if 24 hours you don't post in your story, that next day that you post, you're going to get more story views than you normally will get. Okay? So take that on. Another thing too, right, that I wanted to give you about this, and I always forget, I always have to like go into my thing to look for it. But where is it? 1 second, let me show you this. Is it this? No, not that. 1 second. Also, another thing with the views is you guys will probably know the name of it. I always have to go in here and look when I post one because I don't post one every week. Is it not the frames? I think it's the, no, I forgot. You know those things in there? I gotta go in here and post another one for next week. I only post them. I post one once every 2 weeks. But you know those things that you see everybody posting where you go on their page and it has a little I forgot what it's called. You guys probably know this. Drop it in the chat if you know what it's called. It's that thing on your Instagram story where you see people like share it and read, like for example, October dump, right? And then you'll see everybody start to share, right? Another thing too is that if you post that in addition, like if that's your first post, then your story views are gonna skyrocket, like super skyrocket, right? And I don't mean October's dump, right? But like those things that do that, because it's shared by so many other people and so many people do it, Instagram wants so many people to share it. You can create your own, but Instagram wants so many people to share it that literally you'll get way more story views, right? The day that you do that. So you can do that by itself, you're gonna get more story views. But if you take off one day, 24 hours, post something in your story, and especially if that's the first thing, just get ready for everybody to watch your stories that week or that day, right? Now, what happens is, what I've noticed is that over time, if you do this every so often, your story views consistently just get higher. So now you have more of an audience for your Sheila, right? If this is helpful, if it's helpful, give me some love, show me that it's helpful. Because I'm going somewhere with this stuff. I love it. I hope you guys are taking notes. Look. So look. And then here's the thing with the story. So now your story views is up. Right? So now in the WDT app, that app is like great. If you guys are not using it as much as you probably once was, or because I fell off of it, which is probably why my numbers started to dwindle. I picked it back up because I started to really think about, again, the value that was inside of it and what I could do with it. I started getting creative. What I did is I went ahead, I'm a killer with DMs. Like if you get in my DM, like I know I can get you. Like I can sign you up, I can do whatever. Like I know. So what I did is I did a ChatGPT constructed DM. I was like, yo, this is what I do. This is who I am. I want you to write something brief, one-liner, maybe two-liner at most, right? To help me convert, like a sequence to help me convert, right? Convert a person from someone who is looking to someone who may order the products or get in the challenge, or go into my or go into whatever the deliverables I'm offering. And before you press submit, guys, always ask ChatGPT, do you understand? Right? What you'll notice is that it'll be so much easier if you ask it, do you understand? Right? You got to be really, really detailed. You can tell it to be as great as you want it to be, right? But then before you press submit, before you just tell it to do it, say, do you understand? It'll say, yes, you want such and such, such and such, such and such. And if it's not right, you'd be like, no, I said I want blah, 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 blah. And then you'd be like, do you understand? And they'll be like, yes, you want da, 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 da. You'd be like, yes, and it'll give it to you. One of the reasons why I said a one-liner or a two-liner, because again, the Brian Mark videos, he talks about being a human. And if you do one and two-liners, right, it looks more human than if you just do a long message. If you like just drop a whole long message. Can a long message work? Yeah. But he says it looks like you're talking to them immediately, right back and forth, if it's just like a one-liner or a two-liner. So I literally created a sequence of one and two-liners to like help move somebody forward through ChatGPT, right? And it works. Here's what I did. I did a one-liner, a two-liner, and then the third thing, I dropped the capture page, right? So for example, in WDT, you know that there's resources, you know that you can like drop top 5 hacks. You can drop, if you're trying to recruit somebody, you can drop love working out, love making money. And I don't know if you guys really realize this. And I understand that sometimes you think like, you know what, I just want the sale, or I just want the client, or I just want the money. I encourage you to really think about how emails and contact information is an asset. The more you can gather, people pay for that, right? Like it's an asset, right, for you to gather people's names, emails, phone numbers. It's literally an asset. Like it's literally an asset that people pay for, right? So one-liner, two-liner, send them that. I get the notification. I see that they actually like, went in there. And then next thing I do is I book a call. He also talks about opening up, making sure you have a Calendly, right? So then I booked the call. Well, guess what, guys? Here's the part that I feel like you really want to pay it. Here's the part that I feel like you guys are all on the phone to understand. And it took me a minute for me to get this. Watching the Brian Mark videos, I had to start back thinking. I was like, okay, got it. He's telling me these sequences, and the leaders of WeDo, like they hired him on to customize a conversation for us, but at the same time, Brian Mark is a high ticket online coach, high ticket. So prior, I knew that I needed to increase my prices. You guys, you know that you can sell your services for more. Like you can actually sell the products for more, right? I knew that I needed to actually increase my prices, but I felt bad if I increased my prices, but I didn't. But I just gave my client the same thing you gave your client, and that's it, right? I'm like, yo, what if they had a workout? What if they had a shape up? And they'd be like, yeah, probably will never happen. But I'm like, what if they discuss how much they paid, and they're like, John's charging me this and da da da, and that's why the deliverables that I offer in addition to the challenge and that I've added to my tool belt now makes me more valuable. So I started booking calls. I was already booking calls, but I was just like, getting them started. So the booking call process was never really hard. But they literally click the link, they schedule their own call. Obviously, Calendly follows up with them on my behalf. As you know, the fortune is in the follow-up. So that's pretty simple, pretty easy. The next thing that happens is that they end up on a call, but now I'm having a discovery conversation with them, and I'm finding out what all they need, and I'm packaging my deliverables as well as a challenge into a value proposition that has them willing to pay more money. Now, all transparency, when I first tried to do this, I was nervous because I was like, yo, I never really like increased my prices like this. I never really da-da-da. I get it, guys. I get it. But 3 months ago, I got my first client and it was $1,000. And then I got my second client and it was $1,200. And then I got another client, it was $500. Or you might say, well, why the different numbers? I started to think about it and I was like, actually, if I'm gonna work with someone, I need to work with them for more than just a month, right? Most people, no matter how fit they seem like they think they are in their mind they want a quick fix thing. But as a coach, you know that the real results is probably going to take like 90 days, right? Some people 6 months, other people a year. So I started structuring my plans 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And if you only need whatever, it's $500. If you take 2 months and you feel like you only want to take 2 or 3 months, or you actually do the 3 months, I'll give you 3 months, it's $1,000. You're saving like crazy. Now, for some of you guys, you might be like, that might sound like, I don't know, maybe you might not feel comfortable at first. But what I tell you is that if you do the things that I told you up front and you pay attention like this, you'll eventually start to make this happen. And what happened was I first got 3 clients. I looked at what my profit was. I started to like it. The next month, I only got 1 client. This month, I actually got a client right before this call this month so far. But I also have these clients who are ordering. Now, I can throw them, here's what's also dope, is that I can give them a bigger order, right? I can give them a larger order, depending on what it is. And here's something that's real that we probably also don't discuss. Oftentimes, when you get a person started and you put them on their full program, because it's brand new to them, they don't necessarily do it right. They may not actually have their shake every day. Something is usually not 100%. And because it's not 100%, ideally, they're sometimes not ready to order the second month. Right? But because we only think in months and we want them to order, we think we want to press the second month. Well, in my flow now, I understand that. So if they still have product, I might look for an enhancer. Like I might toss you a Prolesa this month. Something to get you back, something that will still let you get in the challenge, right? Toss you a Prolesa. Toss you this or that, some tea and some aloe. How are you sleeping? I'm not sleeping well. Okay, great. Let me go ahead and get you. Let me go get you like that nighttime tea. I love that peppermint tea. Let me go ahead and give you like this package. I got this tea. I got to sleep now. I got this relax now. Let me package this up and give it to you. You start to then be able. Listen, guys, what's happening here? You start to then be like a premier resource for your client. Like when I tell you what's going to happen is that people are going to start to look at you different. So now they're looking at me even different. They're like, yo, like this person takes care of whatever I need. Whenever I need something, they're taking care of me. It's very custom. It's very exclusive. And they get what they pay for. So now you might say, well, John, people don't have a lot of money. I already hear you, right? I hear you. Well, guess what? What I do is when I tell them my price, I then tell them I recommend that you pay through ZipPay, right? Affirm or Klarna. If you pay through ZipPay, Affirm or Klarna, then their payment, we get the full amount up front, and then they pay every couple months. right? So I got my clients is paying like 170, 166 bucks a month on $1,000 plan that they pay me. No, well, 166 bucks every 6 to 8 weeks in about 6 to 8 week time span. But they pay me 1,000. I got my 1,000 up front, and they're paying like 160 bucks a week. But they're paying for me. Yes, they're getting on calls with me still, personal. Yes, I'm like, yo, when I tell you all the things that I've started to learn to offer, but what it's also done is it's made me not be lazy. It's made me not just be like, I got to prefer a member. And when they order, my volume went up. So I didn't really even look to see what they ordered. And I'm just looking at volume. And no, now it's got me back to coaching again. Like it's got me back to really looking and seeing what a person needs and how I could deliver something to my client. And they're paid more for it. Right? Now, actually, if you stretch it out, they're not even paying that much more. But it's allowing me to really actually look at the value, especially when times get a little bit more tough. Instead of going to look left and try to go find something else to do, how about we get better at what we do? Right? Jerome says, don't wish you were easier, wish you were better. Right? Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Right? So I'm only doing what I've been taught. Right? So I want you guys to be thinking from that aspect, which is why I told you, make sure you take the notes, right? Now, you guys, we're approaching, with this being said, we're approaching like the latter half of the year. It's like the last 90 days. We have less than 90 days left in the year. You guys, this is the time when you want to be as visible as possible. Right? The more visible you are, you should see my DMs, right? Like I'm not like posting on my social media right now like I should, but like in my stories and in my DMs are crazy right now. Because I'm like literally talking to people like every day. And what I mean is that you want to be like connecting with people as much as possible in this last quarter. I'm connecting with people about the business. Like I just sent somebody something about the business, literally like before I got on call. I said, look, listen, and it's just really quick. I'm like, look, I got these two options for you. I was like, I got to hop on this call where I'm about to talk in front of all these online coaches. She already asked me, is she an online coach? She was like, no, I don't. I'm a personal trainer. I'm like, have you ever considered? I said, I got two questions for you. One, have you ever considered online coaching? Number two, either way, whether you have or not, I got this amazing community that I think you might want to be a part of. But right now, I can't talk because I got to go get on this line with them. But when I get off, let's continue the conversation. Right? And then guess what? When she responds, guess what I'm going to send? I'm going to send the love working out, love making money, and at least I'm going to have her info so I can drip on her forever. You guys, we got to play the game. Like, we got to play the game. You got to build these types of relationships so you can make this thing happen, right? What else I got for y'all? Oh, I mentioned to you guys about the new coaches challenge. I mean, you guys are definitely in there. Shout out to everybody who's in there. Your results along your journey is also gonna do nothing more than just help all that I'm telling you to do, because you are in the mix doing it. One of the first things that people do when I'm talking to them in the DM and I'm saying what I'm saying is they go look at my story. And when they go looking at my story, they see me working out every day. Right? So they be like, he's in the gym every day. Like, we're having a conversation. You know, like he tells me in addition to being in the gym, this is what he does. Like he's legit. Right? What's the Instagram? I don't know what my Instagram is. So look, all right. And then here's the last thing, guys. Here's what I'm excited, right? So in the last 90 days, I have to pull up my little Stripe account to tell you exactly. But in my last 90 days, I made an extra $5,000 that revenue, right? Minus the products that I send out, et cetera, et cetera. But it's made me profit. Now imagine when I put, because my next phase, as I get more and more comfortable with this, my next phase is to put the strategy plan in action. Now imagine when I put the strategy plan in action. I'm going to be bringing in new coaches, helping them make more money, more profit right up front, right? Because a new coach doesn't know nothing but what I teach them. It's the rest of us who's been here for a while it's hard to get some of this stuff through to. But the new coach only knows what I teach them. And now that I'm getting good at it and I can help them go ahead and profit fast like this, at that, it's gonna be easy, right? So now I'm excited to see how it works inside the strategy plan, right? Edgar and George and Octavio, they did an amazing job writing it out. Here's what's dope is that even if a person doesn't want to take the high ticket type thing, I can still now downsell them and have them pay $75 and get that $75 volume and still play the same role, right? And go through the strategy plan, right? Or I could do something a little bit in between and still go through the strategy plan, right? You guys got to think. It's so smart. It's so smart. You guys got to pay attention to how you do it though. Like I encourage you guys to like I said in closing, look at what your deliverables are, find out who your avatar is, talk to that person and that person only, go after that person and that person only. You're gonna realize other people are gonna come and ask, can they work with you too? Right? Just kind of how it works. And then I invite you to go through the Mark Hughes too, but the Brian Mark videos, right? And really break them down and understand that he is teaching you the philosophy of high ticket sales. And that if you pay attention and you operate from that space, you literally can close higher deals and get clients to pay you more and make it make sense for all of them. I think is this about time for me to get the questions and answers?
Yes, sir. I have most of them taken care of for you. We've got a couple. I've reminded them if they'd like their questions to be answered by you live, that they can go ahead and drop them in the Q&A now. So we'll probably get some more. I'm fired up. I thought that was pretty good. I mean, it's right in alignment with everything that we've been discussing, right?
Yeah.
Strategy plan, Brian Mark, everything that we're doing. And as you see with the alignment, as you spoke to, right? We opened up for Coach Challenge. So all these different avenues for everybody to be able to participate just the way you have been with your business. So I thank you before we jump into these.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so a couple of them I can answer. If you want to go ahead, if you can see the Q&A, if you want to answer the first one. How and when do you offer the preferred membership with your packages?
I love it. This part, you guys, I don't know if I should, this part, I don't know if I should really talk too much about. So here's what I do, right? And I'm just keeping it 100 with you, right? What I do is I had to learn to add more. Okay, let me talk about the legalities first. You can charge your client what you want. Let's be clear. The problem is you can't charge your downline nothing, right? But you can charge your client what you want. Let's be clear. You can charge your client what you want. So you can't charge them more for a preferred membership, but you can create a package, right? That includes whatever. So what I did is I created some forms, and I have a form that now I send, and my preferred member, when they sign it and they fill it out and they do whatever, and we walk them through, they've already paid me money to place their order.
I love the mic drop moments from you. Correct me up. Okay. What do I respond to a person that doesn't want to get on a call with me because she doesn't have time because she has 2 jobs and is a mom? She won't
book the call. Look, remember, the first thing I said is that you have to talk to your Sheila, right? Here's the thing, right? If let's say this is actually your Sheila, right? Then that means that when you're in your story, you're talking about that. Like you're talking about the hot button. You're talking about the hurdles that your Sheila has to go through, and you're dealing with them in your story, right? So by the time you talk to that person, you've already most likely dealt with whatever it is that they're dealing with. The problem is that we are so general that we don't know what to say. But when you narrow it down, right, now you know who you're talking to. And guess what? Whoever you're not talking to is It's like this is an A and B conversation. Either you in this conversation or you not in this conversation. You know, so I'm trying to teach you guys to make sure. Sheila, the question. Sheila is the avatar, right? It's the avatar. I'm just saying I made up, give her a name. Yeah. The idea is for you to talk to your person, the people that get you excited, or the person who went through the journey that you went through, right? Your ideal client is the person that you're going to be excited to talk to. And guess what? You're going to create packages, you're going to create deliverables that you can usher to that particular person. And in your story, you're going to overcome their objections before they get on the phone with you, normally just in your communication. Oh, and by the way, it's in the Brian Mark videos. I didn't make it up.
I can't with you. Okay, so I've answered a couple of these. So they're very excited about your knowledge of ChatGPT, your knowledge of Klarna, and what's the other one? Affirm, and the other one's ZipPay.
Yeah.
Okay, so where and when do they have access to be able to do this? At the
Awesome.
end of the invoicing when they purchase?
Awesome.
this
So
your
what I do is one of the first things I do when I get on the phone is I you know, Brian Mark talks about, like, you ask people, you find out what they're going through, and then you ask them, can you offer some suggestions? Right? And when I offer suggestions, I'll be like, oh, by the way, do you have Klarna or like ZipPay or like Affirm? And then they'd be like, no. I'd be like, look, it's an awesome app. Download it on the phone. I said, I'm gonna get your stuff together, but in case you want to do it, it's just like an easy payment system, like download it. Right? And I have them download it before I really go into it. Right? And then actually, if you for those of you guys who like want to be savvy and create a payment link, you can, if you do want to create a payment link, let's say you have Stripe or something like that, you can turn those buttons on in your Stripe, and then literally when they pay through the payment link, it'll automatically take all sorts of payments, all sorts of ways. That's a whole nother conversation. But like I said, all you have to do literally is have them download those apps and pay through those apps. Real easy.
Okay, I've got
some of them they create cards. They create like debit cards.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that. Okay, so that's answered a lot of those. We've got some in here in Spanish that are, how are you doing this with the concept of $1,000? How are you doing this with 3 months? You just answered those. And I know that we still have our translator with us, so I know that even though you answered in English and they wrote in Spanish will be good. Let's see here. I love this. I'm sorry, who is Sheila? So Sheila is what Mr. Weber here has identified as his target audience. So he just named exactly who he needs to reach out to and what he needs to do to be able to connect directly with his Sheila instead of everyone. It's that specific individual. Okay, how do you go about this with personal trainers?
Oh, that's dope. So this is the part where I'm about to start to move into the next phase, which is the strategy plan. So you guys make sure that you're like paying attention to that, learn it. What I would advise you guys is to learn it before you discuss it or even try to send it to people, like pay attention to those slides. But basically with the strategy plan, so what I'm doing now is that, like the DM I just left, is I'm literally going after those hashtags. And it's dope if you do your own city, right? Because now you can probably meet them. So I'm literally going after those hashtags of people in fitness, and I'm like finding them, right? And I'm starting conversations. I got a ChatGPT message that gets them to, like, some don't look at it, right? But some look at it, and when they look at it, they usually like heart it or respond and say thank you, because I'm giving them a compliment, the same compliment that old boy Daniel G talked about, same type of compliment, right? And they say thank you, and then once they say thank you, at that point, it gives me the green light to be like, yo, do you what do you do? I'm an online health coach. What do you do? They'll be like, oh, I'm a personal trainer. Oh, I don't do nothing. I'm just in fitness. I'm like, well, I can tell you got a passion for it. Look, I got these two, and I just go into it. But it's like one line, two line, one line, two line. And then before I get on a call though, I make sure I drop like the love working out, love making money, because again, that's a digital asset. Like that's an asset to attract their information. So if I never get on that call, right, or they never book the call, at least they fill out that information to see what I'm talking about, right? And it says there, like, if you want more information, get with me anyway. So now when I book a call, they kind of have an idea about what it is we're going to talk about anyway, right? And now it's like I've moved them along, but I've moved them along almost to the point to where they've kind of done a lot of the work before I got on the phone versus like getting them on the phone and I got to do all the work.
You're always doing all the work. Okay, what are the deliverables apart from the ebooks on WDT Connect? What else do you offer as a part of your coaching?
Here's what I would do. Here's what I did, and here's what I think you should do. Once you define your Sheila, right?
Oh, Sheila.
Oh, Sheila.
Yeah, there it is. I knew it. I
And
knew it.
Lolo. Like once you once you define your Sheila, right? Then what you do is, and again, remember, by defining your Sheila, you finding out, you think about who she is, how old she is. It could be he. I'm just saying, right? How old she is, her education, or how many kids she got, marital status, you name it, what she like to do, hobbies, everything, right? Now, ask ChatGPT, what are the things that she would have to overcome in order to do whatever, like work with me as a coach, as an online coach. Like if she wanted to get in shape, or if she wanted to lose 20 pounds, or if she wanted to do, what would be the things that she'd have to overcome? And it's going to tell you she's going to have to overcome this. She probably da. And you're like, hey, great. So now as I'm looking at my deliverables, I'm making my deliverables line up with the things that I know that this will take care of whatever Sheila would have to overcome. Is this making sense?
Look, I know that you're focusing and everything, but I have to pull you out of the focus for 2 seconds. Tracy is getting the gang over here to start singing via chat with your Oh Sheila.
Oh, Sheila. Baby. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, there we go. If only I could unmute those. All right, so we have a chorus going in the chats right now. So I've already answered this one, and it's coming here in both English and in Spanish. So the Jorge video, guys, any video that we do, any call, this call is recorded right now to YouTube. You could send that YouTube recording and that stream link at the top of your Zoom to someone right now. My team posts I know you can't see me, but we do operations, takes care of posting before end of day the next day, both English and Spanish. The Spanish link is Vimeo. The English link is YouTube. You're always provided both. If this is a recorded call, we always provide you both, and we have to do the translation for you for Vimeo. So please bear with us, but you'll have it next day. They'll do it, I promise. Let's see here. Okay, so more about payment. I think that you've answered some of these. Let's see here. Oh, how have you worked with your team on this, Mr. Weber?
Listen, here's what it is. I'm not like here's what I'm doing with the team. I do a call every Sunday where I just talk about it. I'm not forcing, I'm not pressing, I'm not pushing. Just like you guys got. Some of you guys will take it on, some of you guys won't, right? But here's what I know. All of my new people, right, that I plan to get is gonna know how to do this up front, because I'll be really good at it. So some people are like trying to still getting their feet wet. Some people are, just now changing their Instagram handle. Some, they're all different phases, right? But what I had to do, I had to understand is that I had to really go and do it first, and understand that, and do it consistently, and understand that and let them know that there is a way for them to increase their profits, especially in this season.
Beautiful. So one here is, does it matter if I use Zip or Stripe, or is it the same thing? Those are two separate things. Stripe is
So one is a payment gateway, and
Right.
then the other one is almost like a kind of like a payment system, like a payment plan system. So the
Payment
three
plan
that same, the ZipPay, Firm, Klarna, those allow you to break up payments. So me, if I take the payment through Stripe or however they send it to me, I get the payment up front, the whole amount. They get to make payments on their payment to me. which also kind of keeps them in the game and engaged with me as well, because if they're paying me for a longer period of time, right, then they're engaged with me probably for a longer period of time.
Agreed. Oh, so I answered this one for you, which is, do you, Mr. Weber, use WDT Connect? I know the answer to that, and the answer is yes. And you were very pivotal in us launching that application. So we have that, and then we have a follow-up to that. What do you talk to the lead after they fill in their details on the WDT Connect email marketing?
Okay, dope. So really, I'm archiving data, right? I'm archiving data because I'm realizing again how important it is. So because the fact that they filled it out, all I need to know is which one I sent them and what it said. And I know that I can then ask them, what did they like about what they saw when they get on the phone call? And then from there, I can just go.
Perfect. If you meet someone at the gym, do you ask them for the email the first time you talk to them?
If I meet somebody from the gym, I got some guys. I'll give you this. This is a play that I don't even want y'all to run it yet because like I haven't really started doing it. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you anyway, even though I kind of want to keep it for myself. You know what I've been doing in the gym? So I work at this bodybuilding gym, and like all the Mr. Olympias was worked out there last week. I interviewed everybody. So now I'm just doing interviews with fit people, and I'm just like archiving them, like and interviewing. And at some point, I'm gonna post them. But right now, I'm like, what got you into fitness? What made you interested? Da da da. Like everybody was in there last week, and I just been interviewing them. So inside of that, I get their Instagram or I get their info, and they don't have to be a Mr. Olympia or whatever. They could just be anybody who's in fitness. I get their Instagram or whatever, and they're checking for me to post this stuff.
Mic drop moments.
Look, I got my little thing right here. This is what I do. I take my thing and I take my little camera, and I'll literally just be like, yo, so da 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 da. And I got my son with me. He'd be holding the camera, and I'd be like, we just be talking.
We'll just do a couple more. We're getting to the 10 o'clock time frame. So do you have a time limit for your discovery calls?
No, I don't have a time frame, but basically in Calendly, there's an option for them you get to set the options of whether they're gonna do a 15-minute call, a 30-minute call, or an hour call. So you get to set the options as to what they choose once you set your Calendly up.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, they would like for you to spell the app of the pages that you use. So it's Affirm, AFFIRM, Klarna, KLARNA, and the other one's ZipPay, ZIPPAY.
Yeah.
You're about to put some people on some new game today. They need all the things. Let's see here. If they were paying for 3 months upfront, when does the preferred customer conversation come into the picture? How does that flow look like? We have a flow chart for that.
It all depends on what you want to do. It all depends on what you want to do. Like one of the beautiful things about what you'd be doing in this scenario is that in that discovery and in the frequency of you speaking with them, you will find out what they feel is valuable. You'll find out if they feel like the preferred member option is the valuable thing for them, which obviously most likely it would be. And you have an opportunity to then say, well, it's only an additional da 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 da, right? Or if you feel like you want to take it out of your profit, you could do it that way as well. But at the end of the day, right, it's up to you as to how you want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that this one's kind of similar, but you're our person, you're our go-to. So how do you go with people that filled the link on WDT Connect? Do you just take their no and call? And then they say that some are international.
How do I do it? What about what the link? What?
What do you do with people that filled in? So basically you give them the, you prospected them and you've sent them the link from WDT Connect. And it
Uh-huh.
says, do you just take their no and call? I'm not sure if you're just like not hearing the no and this person's like not communicating back. I don't, that part's not very clear. So it's at the top of the list.
Yeah.
But
Well,
go ahead.
I don't really know what you mean, but let me see if I can understand. So if they filled out that information in there, then I've captured their information. You've captured their information. WDT Connect, it can drip on them consistently, right? But either way, you've archived those emails, which is why we always say like you should probably have like a dedicated email hooked up to your like WDT Connect. So when you look in there, right, 6 months from now, all you got is prospects.
Right. And then also a quick reminder on WDT Connect before we go ahead and wrap this up is that we have dropped links in the October coaches chat. I can pin them to the top if y'all need it, but the coaches chat is a channel. So when you scroll, you're not scrolling through all 75 comments on one message. It's all categorized by that particular topic. So just scroll up. I'm just asking to do what you do on IG all night long. Just do a little scrolling for me and see that information that I've already provided to you. So you have how-tos on WDT Connect. I've dropped the information here in the chat for you on the Zoom call tonight. So no need to scroll through all that when you can go to your resources in the coaches chat. I've got information for you for the WeDo app, how to register a coach. Are you a coach that's recently converted one of your challengers to a coach and you don't know exactly how to do it? Or maybe your challenger, you speak English and your challenger speaks Spanish that's converting. We have that available for you in all 5 languages, right? So these links that we provide you for the WeDo app are in all 5 languages. They're intercom links, how to register a challenger, how to register a coach, how to do your pictures. And then we've got the correct support links for each one of these things. So Mr. Weber here has presented us with a lot of new information, but a lot of information that is just existing tools and resources,
Yeah.
right? So he's
It's new
really
information
touched on
based
what we
off of
already heard.
it's
Yep.
new information based off of old information that We Do Transformations was launched with. So it's not just it's new, but it's old. Like if I didn't go back and look at Brian Mark, I wouldn't have did all this stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, that's specific to We Do Transformations. That Brian Mark content that's in our We Do app. And I've dropped that information in here for you as well. So coaches, go in there, right? Check out your WeDo app. Do you know everything that the WeDo app has to be able to provide you? Is all of this value? Like, Jonathan spoke on us tonight about absolutely everything that you can do. And like he just said, this is existing. He's not adding new things. He's not telling you that this is another cost on top of being a coach. This is what's included in being a We Do Transformations coach. Where do you find it? All in one place, the WeDo app. Okay. The only thing that's outsourced is the WDT Connect, and that's for prospecting. So we're getting to our 5-minute overage mark. Mr. Weber, I would like to greatly thank you for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking so many questions. I think this is one of the longest Q&A times we've had in a while, so I appreciate you giving the time for that. And the chat's blowing up. They love it. So they've been tuned in with you. They're locked in. They're ready. I think we're going to see some serious volume going on with these coaches. So coaches, thanks for being present. Appreciate you. Thank you, Carlos.